start college project now.
And then we'll take a break for lunch.
And then we'll stop for lunch. So we want to try to get through college project now before we do lunch. Okay? I know we're throwing a lot at you, but
We only have
we
one
only
day.
have one day to do this. So we're trying to do it. Okay, so we're going to start the college project. The college project, this is the chapter college partnership. So this is something the chapter and the college are working together for. The purpose of this project is to establish or strengthen the supportive relationship between the college and the chapter and the college. I'll get it right yet. The chapter and the college administration. And it can be anything that will support the college mission. So those are some key things that for you.
Every single part of the write-up for this particular Hallmark award needs to show that support between the college and your chapter. And when we get to the questions, we'll kind of show you how that relationship works. All right, so with this college project, this one falls on your 3-star checklist. All right, so how many of you plan on being 5-star? I'm expecting everyone of you to raise your hands. Yes, all right. So this is 3-star. Your college project is in the 3rd star, all right? Then the Hallmark category is the college project. Now, this is very different than the Honors and Action project. Okay. The Honors and Action project goes along with the guide. How many of you, did you remember to bring your guide with you today? Some of you did. Okay. Now, Debbie, our regional coordinator, did bring some guides for us when we get to that this afternoon. Okay? So we have some for you to look at, and if we don't have enough, we can share some. Okay?
We don't need them till after.
And yeah, we don't need them till later. Okay? So we can look at those. You can flip to your theme that you chose, and we'll kind of go through how that works as well. All right, so that you can look at what your theme was as opposed to random one that we might be talking about. All right? But that is geared to the theme. Honors and Action geared to the theme. College project geared to whatever you and your administration, the collaboration, has decided is the project. Okay. Totally different idea here. Something completely different.
There is a rubric that will help you with this. I think it's just there. You can see where it says view the application of the rubric. That is on the international website.
When you go to the website that we had pulled up a while ago and it said Hallmark Award, you can click on that and it shows you the rubric. Now they are kind of tweaking a few things and we'll get you some updates that they've come up with. They've got some cool new stuff with this one. Rather than the few they were given, they've got additional stuff coming.
So again, this is just a little bit more of the same stuff. It's just showing you where you can find this information. Again, it is the collaboration that we're talking about here. So we'll go into the questions.
It's coming. All right. So this one, when you're setting, remember the collaboration team. All right. This one uses a collaboration team as well. So you set up that same team through the my.ptk.org. It's the same setups. Okay. We use the same way that we do it on this one. All right. Okay. So here we go for the questions. All right. So the first question is, briefly describe your college project. Who from the administration was in it? Who from the chapter? You know, involved in determining. So when we talk about briefly describe, that really means briefly describe. That does not mean you can waste all of your words on telling us the details of your project.
And remember, you only have 1,200 words for this whole entry.
1,200 words. Okay. You guys can write 2 pages worth of of material in what, 5 minutes maybe? 2 pages worth of material is 1,200 words. Y'all blow through that in 5 minutes. Okay? The problem is we have more than one question. Okay? Yeah. We have more than one question to answer, so briefly. Okay? But you have to be extremely specific. All right? We need to know who was involved, what was the project. Be very succinct with your words here. Okay? And again, you don't want to write these in the program. You want to write them on a different kind of document. Now, I mean, you can write them on a Word doc or a Google doc, that's fine, but you really need to put it in something like Notepad or something like that where you can save it as an RTF file. Because what that does is it takes out all that back coding that Word puts in. All right? When you do that, and this goes for your scholarship applications or anything you're doing, a Word document puts that extra coding in, and it also, when it does that, it also adds to your word count. You're going to be putting it in, you're like, why is the word count? What is the deal? Okay, let's go back. All right. If you'll put it in an RTF file, it will actually save it the way you need to. Now, be very cautious. You also need to, once you paste it back into the actual program, you still need to go back and you need to review it and make sure you have all the periods where they need to be and the commas, and you know your spacing is correct, because that is still part of it. There's points given for being perfect. Okay, there's still points there for that. So you still want to go back and review those. Okay? But you need to have those. Yes.
Two questions. So with the spacing,
I'm sorry, you're only allowed one.
So with the spacing, that will be like if you miss a couple of spaces, like whenever you transfer like the document over, will points be taken off if there are like additional spaces?
It's not really points off, but the category is cleanliness, and so you want to make it as clean as possible. And so that's why you always want to go back and review what it looks like in the box. And if you notice it looks wider spaced, back it up to the period and then space it.
Okay, and with the RTF file, is that just like a notepad?
Yeah, Notepad. But you can do it in a Word doc and then put it in Notepad either way. Save it as an RTF, things like that.
College administrator, do you want their position or title of their name? That could be really good to see Dr. Ricky Jones, college photo, but that can't be.
I believe that's actually in a drop down, because it asks in those questions. I'm almost positive those are boxes that you fill out.
Yes, I think it does.
You can.
You just need to make sure to look at it through like the Notepad or something, that it doesn't do something.
Well, I don't know, whenever I was not sure, whenever I've had content, whatever. I just usually put paste it.
We've seen instances though where people have done that with this, whatever the
This
software they're
program?
using is, and it's caused issues. So we have, that's why we recommend that, because of just of issues that we've experienced in the past, just went straight forward.
And these are recommendations from quite a few of our computer science and our computer science faculty. That
So
have had to deal with it.
that's why we stress that to you, because of what we have seen in the past.
The drop-down boxes, wherever they're available, does that count towards your word count?
Not in college project, no. And the same with honors and action. Question 2 is a drop-down menu, and it does not count towards the word count either. because that's where you're picking your theme. And if that was the case, we'd all pick whichever one was shortest, right? I don't know about you, but I would. I'll be like, anyway, count how many letters are repeated that theme. I don't care what it is. So no, not on, if it's in these particular ones, no.
So something else to point out, it says college administration, that does not include the college president. It could be other administrators. But you do need to meet with administration on this, not, it doesn't just have to be just the college president.
Okay. Right, and when you're talking here, it might be that you're say you're doing a project, a beautification project for your college, and your administration, say your college president thinks you should meet with maybe you have a VP, a vice president on your campus that is over facilities. So you might meet with that VP and the facilities crew. That might be the administration that you're meeting with on a regular basis. Okay? So you could easily have a different route as opposed to that college president. Okay? Okay, so that's question one. Question two, summarize the objectives. Objectives equals goals. This is not the project, okay? Stay away from that. This is not the project anymore. You already told us about your project. People keep, now as alums, we can help you edit, okay? And we get quite a few of you, of the chapters, sending us your papers ahead, saying, hey, can y'all look at these for us and edit, give us some critiques, see what you have to say, things like that. And we go through and we look and we read the question. Yes, please be careful what you ask for because we will. We bleed all over the paper, okay? But all we're doing is saying, hey, here's some suggestions for you. Totally up to you whether you use them or not, but here's our suggestions. And when we look at these questions and we see summarize your objectives, I'm not asking you for your project, and we still continue to get people to put their projects in these questions.
Is bullets okay or you won't work?
Okay, well, we've asked headquarters about the same thing, okay? Because you use bullets, you decrease the word count, right? Here's the response we receive. These are essays. Essays are paragraphs, not bullet points. And this is coming from Jennifer Stanford and Monica Burke. That's what they give to me as answers.
But
So
we have seen issues where bullet points are in there. and
With
they work.
respect to which section? This one.
Goals, your objectives. And I've seen them where there are bullet points in them, so, and they work, so I can't,
But when I have specifically asked both of those individuals and they read these and grade them, they have both told me these are essays and essays have paragraphs.
So we have asked. But I will say, I've seen them where they are in there and they have work, so. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm not telling you don't, I'm just.
We will not tell you not to do it, we will not tell you to do it, either way.
Because you are advised.
I'm only telling you what we have been informed. Okay. All right.
Okay, so one thing that, just some notes that we have here, one thing to make sure you include in this section is how and why a college project was chosen. Those are important details that you want to make sure you share in your entries. How and why this was chosen, whatever you're doing, whatever it was.
And this is for question 2?
Question 2.
Question 2.
So if you go to the meeting, say you're meeting with, say we keep with that same idea where we're doing a landscape project, a beautification project or something. If you go to the meeting and you wanted to do the landscape project, right? That was y'all's choice, your chapter's choice. You go to this meeting, hi, okay, so what's your ideas? Well, we're gonna do a landscape project. Okay, is that discussion and collaboration, and has that really been talked about, and is that really the best project for the college? Well, back history to that, okay? If there is, this is where you want to write about that back history, okay? This is how, when you're writing it, you need to make sure it comes across that there was more to it than you showed up for the meeting with your own agenda, okay? There has to be more to it than just letting them see that you walked into a meeting, plopped down your papers and said, here's what we're going to do to your administration, because that's not what this is about. It's about you collaborating with them to determine what's best for the college and how you can serve. Okay? And it needs to come through on this writing. And again, you don't have very many words to do that in. Okay?
But you can accomplish lots that we met with you for 4 months. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there for you.
Describe the planning process and strategies developed to complete the project. We're not talking about the project. We're talking about the planning process you used to think about the project, right? Planning process.
So this may be kind of late to remind you or suggest this to you, but if you haven't been taking notes during these meetings or what's going on, you know, that may be something to keep in mind. Keep a notebook or a journal of things for your college project. I know we talk a lot of journaling and honors and action, but you may need to keep one for your college project so that when you go back to this question, you can go back and say, oh, well, here's what we did. You have the notes, you have the information.
This is also a great question to talk about obstacles. What were obstacles that you came across in that planning phase? You know, when you were planning it, all right, well, if we're talking landscaping and we're talking about new development or new, you know, updating some ideas, say we're planting trees. A problem with that might be watering systems, right? That might be a huge problem. Right, well, corn maze, okay? So I know some of the chapters got to go to the corn maze last night. So one of the things we were actually talking with them about was that when they started to plant the corn, they had a drought right after they planted the corn. How do you get water to it? It was huge, by the way. And some of them got lost in the dark. Finally,
We got it now.
it was funny. I did get lost. It was funny. It was dark by the time they, you know, getting towards the end and they got lost. It was funny. But how did you deal with that? Okay, that was an obstacle you would have to overcome. Finding ways to get water to that area. If I'm planting trees, they have to have water, right? Or, you know, we're revitalizing, we need plants. Who's going to be out there to make sure they get water? Or what about fertilizing? Okay, so that might be an obstacle.
Bring it down to college.
What?
Bring it down to college.
Yeah. All right. This also might be somewhere you can show some real growth because students in the chapter may have taken leads in different areas and shown, you know, just tremendous growth in certain areas to learn how to do certain things to overcome those barriers that you've had challenges creep up in. Okay? So this might be a good question that you can put some of those things in. Right? All right.
Okay, question 4 says, what were the quantitative and qualitative outcomes of your project, including lessons learned by your chapter members and others?
What's qualitative?
Quality.
Okay. How would you assess qualitative data? What is it?
Well, you have to have a measurable goal and then be able to measure that somehow and prove it.
Okay. All right. Quantitative data, let's get that one out of the way. That's the easy one, right? That's the numbers. If we have an event, I can say we had 20 people show up, they did this, they did that. Easy, right? Qualitative data.
More like how many people benefited from your project?
How do you know how they benefited?
Surveys?
Comments might be, surveys, okay, so you would have to maybe ask open-ended questions, maybe? Somebody over here said something else.
Feedback, just feedback from
Feedback?
from participants, college administration, since this is a partnership, ask the campus president or the administrative how they felt about your efforts.
Okay, maybe lessons learned. What did you learn from this? Okay, is it just about who participated in whatever it was? What about your officer team? How did you grow? Or your members, the ones who helped you with the projects, how did they grow? Because they had to develop, right? You had to have leadership development. They had to grow as leaders as well. Can't just be the officers. You have to have full teams. Gotta have help. Can't just be the officers. Okay.
Question 5 is what is left undone, or what opportunities remain for the future? You know, if it's something you did, is it something that's sustainable? Maybe that's an opportunity in the future is to sustain whatever it was, again, depending on the project. You know, did you not get everything finished that you needed to?
Yeah.
Things like that.
This is about reflection. And then sometimes I know some of your chapters also even go back and present this back to maybe your board, not your chapter board, but to your administrative board. You know, here's where we are at this point, but maybe there's still some things that you still need to work on. Or maybe this is a multi-year project, okay? That now that you're finished with your portion of it, the next year goes to another group or another department. And that might be the next part that's undone. You never know. All right, but this is where you're going to write about that part. Okay? All right. Rubrics. Here's some additional stuff. All right. Here's what they're really looking for under some of these categories. Okay? So preparation, they're really making sure that you made it a priority, that you met with the administration, and this is on a regular basis. This is not just you met with them once to figure out what the topic is and you moved on. Okay? And don't worry, you will get a copy of this. I will email it. I'll email it. As long as your name is on that list, you'll get a copy. You participated fully by being an active listener. So what is an active listener?
Listen and then tell.
Sitting there and just listening, is that active listening? No, that's not active listening.
Feedback, what you're hearing.
Okay. All right, there's more to it. Engaged listening, okay? There's more to it. All right. But it has to reflect that in your writing. That's not easy to do. It's really not easy to do. Okay? And while Texas is finally, yay, thank goodness, improving our numbers on stage with college projects, I have to admit, okay, I'm gonna talk bad about us, the alumni, for one brief moment here. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? Probably 3 years ago. We didn't have any.
Oh, we didn't have any college projects.
We didn't have college project winners on the stage. And I'm like, we have gone through the training. What the heck is going on? I was so upset. I'm like, have we done something wrong? We're not understanding this. What is the deal? Okay, and we're like, we sat and looked and we tried and we're like, no, everything they told us we've gone through. They had a lot of really good people up there. Okay, and fortunately, I mean, we work really closely with headquarters on getting trained for these things for you guys. And we do get to see recipients who are on the stage. We do get to see some of their entries, okay? And we're looking at them and it's like, okay, yes, I get it. Okay, I get it, and we're teaching you guys this, but it's like, no, we need to stress and we need to stress. I'm going to give you a handout later to show you exactly how we figured it out. Okay? We didn't have this before, we got it now. But to understand these things, it's about the way you write this to understand that this goes through every single question. Okay? And it really is about the way you write it to understand that it's so important in the way that you write your answers. Don't make stuff up. Do not do that. I swear to goodness, if I find out you make stuff up, I will come after you. Okay? I'll sick Danny on you. Okay? Do not do that. All right? But you have to find a way to make sure that this comes out in your writing. And the last few years, we've found that way. There's chapters that have been on the stage. Kingwood's been on the stage. Tomball's been on the stage. Montgomery's been on the stage. Grayson's been on the stage. Yeah, Sanjak's been on the stage. Some of those, Northlake's been up there. Cedar Valley's been up there. We have just found that way to do it. Okay? But it really is, Mount Pleasant, you know, it's about weaving it in and out of every one of those questions. Okay? And being very specific in the way you're answering the questions.
And the alumni are awesome.
We try. We really do try.
And we can't take credit for what you
No,
do. It's
you
your
did
work.
the projects, okay? It's your projects. We just can help you tweak. Hey, you didn't answer this part. Have you thought about this?
He also doesn't have a person
We don't.
he doesn't know what he did.
Right.
Read it.
We're not on your campus. Okay? So we want to make sure that you understand this. It's so very important. Okay.
Leadership development. This is strong evidence of exceptional planning and teamwork. Use this opportunity to exercise and advance their leadership skills. Again, you're talking about your leadership. What roles did you have on the campus for this project? How did you involve others? I mean, what did you learn? How did you develop yourselves as leaders? It's not just,
It's not just like you.
I did this, or
Is it teamwork with yourself or teamwork with others?
Both.
Like, we collaborate with groups. Is that
Right.
the question?
it's both. I mean, it's teamwork with the administration, maybe other organizations on your campus, because depending on what your project is, it may involve the whole campus. So what kind of teamwork did you develop there? What kind of leadership skills? Were you able to bring all the groups together to work together really well? Again, you're trying to point this stuff out. Again, it's in your writing.
All right, so we have cooperative effort and communication. All right, so here's the one that a lot of chapters have a little bit of difficulty working in there. This is the one where you have to make sure that you show that commitment between your chapter and the college administration continued through the project. A lot of chapters, after going back and reading and looking and trying to understand, you know, where's kind of the disconnect. We see such a strong start with that communication at the beginning, and then they get into their projects and they're moving along and they're doing great, but then they kind of lag a little bit with the communication with the administration. In the writing, all right, you need to continue showing that communication continued. Again, don't lie about it, okay? Don't cheat. But it needs to be sure to show that you've continued that through the process and that you've reflected. And you're like, okay, are we still on the same path? Is it still going the way we need it to go, or do we need to alter to make sure we're still on the same path that we need to be on? It really is about communication and moving forward with the administration.
And keeping them informed
Right.
as to where you are in the project. If you've had issues that come up, expressing that communication with them, letting them know where things stand with that project that you're doing this for the college.
And the administration can be invited.
Right.
As long as they're in the administration, right, yes. Yes, ma'am.
And including their desires into the
Right,
project.
yeah, that you've gone off on a tangent and you're not meeting what they want, and so therefore with that communication, you see, they can, I don't say bring you back in line, but make sure, that you're going in the direction that they want that project to go.
It's
That
just
you're
a
working with them.
collaboration, and we would be including that in our email.
Yes.
We are, not just on our own thing, that we are
Right.
taking their,
has to, because that's what this is, it's that
That's what they're
building of
looking
the
for, is that-
relationships between staff, faculty, administration, everyone with your chapter. And building those bonds that just don't break.
Next is impact. The outcomes, exceptional and I'm reading from over there. Outcomes are exceptional and included both quantitative and qualitative statements. Here we're looking for both still. The chapter assessed in an intentional and reflective way what they learned, how they grew as scholars, servant leaders, and clearly stated what opportunities remain to either improve the project or enhance the relationship with the college administration.
We're not minimizing impact. You gotta have it, okay? But again, it's all that intertwining and weaving of every piece that we just talked about. Okay? What impact are you making? Personally, campus, everywhere. All right, here's that little last chunk that we don't want to forget.
Spelling
Spelling
and
and grammar, making sure it looks great. Okay?
You want that.
But don't forget the editing.
Wow.
We've seen some funky stuff.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, just saying. You don't get full presentation points if it's not flawless. Okay? Just doesn't happen.
Don't forget to use your writing center. They are there to help you.
I love her finger.
And generally, most of your writing centers require you to make reservations and RSVP and schedule time in there. So you can't just show up. Please make sure you've done that. Or they close for your holiday break. Because you're not leaving it till the last second, right?
Make sure. And have people read it.
Right. Every point matters at the international level.
Yes.
Every point matters. Last year, no, 2 years ago, the point spread on the stage, less than 5 points for the top 25 chapters.
Last year was
2 years ago, top 25. Yeah, I haven't gotten the scores from last year to know the spread.
yeah, well, we're getting there.
We're getting there, hang back. Yeah, the point spread for the top 25 on stage was between 5 points. So every single point matters. Do not waste your points. Okay? Don't waste your points. You want consistent styles. You don't want one person writing in one type of writing, because I don't write the same way he writes. It sounds different, right? So you want to make sure it sounds like one person, even though you have, 10 people writing. It needs to sound the same. Okay? You need to have one sound. It's the chapter, because the chapter is writing the essay. Okay? All right? Multiple readers. Do not ever submit without multiple readers. And you really need to have someone that is not from your chapter and not from the school read that essay. Okay? They don't know your project. That way they can be more of an objective voice to where they're answering your questions and making sure you're answering them.
You just answered my question.
Okay. Here is our secret. Here it is. Here is the secret. I'm going to hand you the handout that goes with this.
Why don't we do that afterwards?
Okay.
Let's so we get through this.
Okay, so here's the secret. I'm not joking. This is the secret, by the way. This is truly the secret. All right. So Q1, Q2, these are the questions. Okay. Going across, you need to have these items in those questions because this is what they're looking for. Okay. In question 1, they want to know your preparation for the project. They want to know leadership development. They want to know cooperation and effort. They want to know impact, and of course the grammar and all the other stuff. All of that in question 1.
Briefly.
Briefly. But not everybody was doing this. Okay? They would just answer the question, but not all of these are in the question. Okay? Not all of those are in that question. So question 2, we're going to do preparation. What was question 2? Do we remember?
Summarize your objectives.
Summarize what?
Summarize your objectives.
Summarize the objectives, right? Summarize the objectives. But they're wanting preparation. Okay, that makes sense, right? Leadership development. They want leadership development in summarizing your objectives.
Will you give us an example following that landscape? Like, what would you say?
So I might say something like, in the preparation for our objectives, I might even suggest we're going to need this kind of training, which will give us this kind of end result, which will let us do this for our project, which will make this kind of impact, because I have to do all of this kind of stuff for that particular thing. And we're going to be working
Say
with
it
these
flawlessly.
people. Yes. With my flawless grammar and spelling, right?
Your wonderful presentation.
That's right. In my very short sentence, because I can't make, I can't make them big paragraphs. Yes.
Gotta be a good politician. Info.
I don't think I'd qualify.
This format, does this work for the Owners in Action project as well?
No, totally different.
Totally
No,
different issue.
Just college project, okay? All right, so question 3, notice we have a hole, by the way. We're gonna go for preparation, we're going for leadership, cooperative effort and communications, and presentation. We have a hole. Question 4, preparation, leadership development, cooperation, impact, presentation. Last question is about impact, right? Well, we don't prepare with impact, right? So we have leadership development, impact, of course, and presentation. This chart has helped so many more chapters, and not just in the Texas region. We actually tried this. We used Kansas as one of our tester beds, and they weren't necessarily on the stage. Let me clarify that. But what we did was we compared their scores from previous years to the scores to last year using this. Their numbers went up astronomically when they started using this rubric, because they started hitting the points the judges were looking for. They need some work on projects and preparation, but once they started using this, their numbers started going. Okay? Question over here and then a question over here.
In the impact section, do you have to put qualitative and quantitative?
I think it would depend on the question, but it also would depend on, you can talk about making impacts on your campus without using an actual outcome of a number or a quote or something.
Hi Candace, I'm a huge fan. So
Only because you know me.
Yeah. So let's say a chapter did all of this work. They did all the questions and filled out all the requirements, and they went to the Hallmark Awards and they didn't win. What's the biggest thing they should take away from their whole project?
First and foremost, we can't guarantee any of you are going to get on stage. Here's why. Y'all are doing so well on your projects. You have such high competition. We've given you the tools, we've given you all the secrets, okay? But we're not the only region this is for. Headquarters teaches the same. This is headquarters' presentation. They're doing this for everyone. So they've even upped the numbers we're about to give to you in just a second to help increase the number of awards as well.
But as far as what you can take from it, I think it's just taking back something, though, you made a difference on your college campus.
Right.
You impacted your college campus.
Huge.
Maybe you didn't get recognized by Phi Theta Kappa internationally, but you did make a difference on your college campus.
Right.
And, how many other people can you influence by that? By just doing that rather than receiving some award.
And you have to be on that if you read in your resume.
Correct. And the whole point of the college project and Honors in Action, technically, you're not doing these projects to win an award. Okay? You're doing these projects to improve you and to improve your campus and to improve society. That's really the goal of these projects. Okay? And understand that no matter what, even though our college presidents love to go to, TCCNA and the AACC and go, well, my chapter won this, what'd your chapter win? They love that, okay, don't get me wrong. However, when the day is done, when they go back to their campus, they still know what you've accomplished. Even if you don't bring home the trophy, they still know what you've accomplished on their campus, and they're still just as happy with what you've done no matter what. They're still just as proud, they're still just as excited because you took the time to help. And there are too many other clubs and organizations on that campus that have done nothing. Okay? So just remember that no matter what. All right? All right. While at the end of the day, I'd like to say, yes, we want everybody to want the trophy. I want all of Texas on the stage, forget the rest of them. It doesn't work that way, okay?
Yes.
But the ultimate goal, the original goal is this isn't about winning the trophies, it really is about making a better impact on your campus and in our communities. Okay? You want to do the
Okay,
honors?
I don't know if you've seen the blog or the email that came out from headquarters recently. It was on the 20th. This year, the first time, they're doubling the number of college project awards. So instead of 25, they're going to be 50 this year. So twice as many chapters can be recognized. And to better balance the criteria for distinguished chapter rankings, which is the average scores of both the honors and action and college project, the total number of points assigned to the college project award will increase from 45 points to 85 points. And they say this is a testament to the increasing strength and impact of college projects, which encourages a positive, cohesive relationship between the college and the chapter. So,
There you go.
there you go. Now, we've told you this. When are these awards due? When are college project awards due?
They're due in January, you got that part.
January 25th at 5 p.m.
And this does not mean you start working on them on January 13th after the Texas Regional Individual Awards are due. This means you start working on them now, okay? Because a lot of these questions you can start writing.
You can start at least getting some of your thoughts down and some of your information, hopefully. So, January 25th at 5 p.m.
CST?
Yes.
Yes, everything is
All of
CST
these are
because it's
Central
tied
Standard
into
Time.
Jackson's time.
Luckily for us,
For us,
we're on the same
yes.
time zone.
It's those chapters in Hawaii that have to really.
No thanks. Or the Japanese chapter.
Wait, for what?
Or the Germany
Well,
chapter.
they get later, so it's.
There's a bit of the day before. Right?
Okay.
Last little piece, points to consider. Keep detailed notes. Hopefully you've kept them. We talked about journaling, even though it's not honors and action. Consistent communication. Preview your outlines. Make sure they're done well ahead of the final deadline timeframes so that you're not waiting and rushing and stressing, and make sure you've gone to the writing center and you've had outside people look at these. Answer your question. Answer the question. Please answer the question. We stress
You
this.
laugh, but.
Yeah. Okay. You know, what you need to remember in your head is you are walking the judges through the process of your project. Okay? That's what you're writing about, is your process. As a judge, they don't know what your process was. Walk them through it. That's what your application is about. Okay? Use specific examples and be concise. Right?
Like writing in the same questions, put examples and you need to explain that?
Well, be cautious on your examples because it depends on what you're talking about. Okay? Because don't tell us about your project unless it's in question 1. Okay. But if you're giving me an example of maybe a leadership development or a problem that you've incurred or, you know, a challenge, something,
Example of impact.
right, an impact, something like that, you bet. Okay,
So
that's
there are ways to put examples in there. It just has to be timed, not timed, but from the proper.
okay.
Is that it?
Can I get you to that email?
Okay, we're gonna hand out, are you gonna hand, is that it that we have for this? Okay, we're gonna hand this out. Well, they're handing this out first. I'm gonna explain to you what's gonna happen for lunch. We have lunch outside. There are some tables on each side, and there's a courtyard outside that if you want to sit outside that you can go out, or you can come in here. Also during lunch, the Alumni Association brought some information, some items that we have for sale. Debbie has brought some jackets that she has, and Michelle Daniels from Kilgore is going to handle a lot of that for us, or her.
We've got jackets, we've only got large sizes,
Large and extra large jackets.
So when I
We've
email
got
it
a
to you
t-shirt
now, we'll have it in the
No, Joanna t-shirts. And so the alumni, so we got a few different things, so we'll have that set up. Also, Candace, when you're through handing out, would you be out with, because you had the RSVP, so you know who, we had some people when they RSVP, they asked for special lunches, so I'm gonna let Candace handle that. But like I said, you can eat, there's some tables on this side, there's some tables there. He said there's a courtyard out back, or out the glass doors, it's nice, or you can come in here.